Check. There we go. Alright, I don't know what was that going. Alright, so here I've got 565 items to go through. I'm going to try and go through this quickly this time. So we've got everything that we talked about before in the last one. One thing I do have to add is how to do geolocation. So if we go over here into the Digikam Ender, we're going to hit Control A or Command A. And actually, we'll go up to Edit, no, Item, Edit Geolocation. And this will pop up a map, little dialog. Okay, and so we have like all these images here. We have, you know, all these different options here. Kind of curious. Oh, there you go. It's actually highlighted right here already, since that's the most frequent location I've used, but everything here was taken in this. So I generally tag everything as one location, don't really try to get very specific. Yeah, we have, usually I use either this like sawmill side, or the marsh. This is a combination of the two, so I'll just go with the court park here. And then from there we just copy coordinates. We're going to Command A on all of these images here. And once this selects everything, we're going to paste our coordinates. Okay, while it does that, one thing I did want to mention is that if you were to pop over to, like, let's say Google Maps, put your location in, let's drag this up so it's about the same. I think we have like right there. All right. Let me pull this up. There we go. You can get your coordinates from here directly, or in this case, yeah, let me do this. So when I search for this particular park, you have here up in the URL the lat launch, so you can get that right from there. I'm going to paste this in. It should be basically the same thing. It should expand to the full size. Yeah. So here it's giving me the latitude and longitude, and it's just going to be the same location that we were just at. But yeah, that should match roughly what we have. So 40.78 minus 74.10. Yeah, perfect. Okay, and then I want to apply these. It's going to save those changes. I'm going to close Gmail, Google Maps. All right, these are all good. Well, sorry, it's still loading. Gonna have to wait on that. And then once that's done, I'm gonna go through and just rate everything. Yeah, all right, need to wait a minute. One thing I've been looking into is seeing if there's like a way to track my GPS location while I'm doing this. SnapBridge does not work particularly well, at least with my camera and in my experience. It works great for transferring the pictures right off of the camera to my phone, at least this 2 megapixel version, but it does not push the GPS coordinates to the camera. I just had a stream marker. I don't know what that does. It's taking quite a while to load this. I do have to say that when I'm not streaming, not using the camera and all this stuff, in addition to this, this is much faster. It still takes a little bit of time, but it's not anywhere near this long. And it may be because I do have Digikam set up to write the XMP files. Yeah, I can't show that right now. All right, almost done. All right, great. So we'll skip the videos for now. I'll walk through here with this. Okay, so this is like blown out like crazy. Just skip that. None of these are particularly good. Yeah, that's pretty blown out still. That one's nice. Keep that. Again, this is like the issue of how do you decide which of a series of very similar pictures do you want to keep? That's pretty cool. That one looks really nice. I'm not 100% convinced it's sharp. I'm gonna mark it as a 4. Just I want to take a look at that later. This one might be better, but it'll mark the same. That one's no good. This one's pretty cool. Alright, so I'll do 3. This probably needs second round of culling. So this is yellow crowned night heron eating a crab. Apparently they have to break off, like, I think the arms and the legs before they can eat it. And I got a lot of shots of this. Okay, I mean, all things considered, these are pretty much identical. Yeah, so here, I think, threw the crab in. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that one. That's kind of cool. Because then it picks it up, I think, in the next one. Yeah, that's also really cool. This is a pretty nice series. So I actually like that one and that one. Okay. And normally this would switch a lot faster. So I'd be able to go through a whole bunch quicker. These are all about the same. Kind of like this. Sometimes it really does get very hard to choose between those in a series. So it's just either kind of guess at what you're doing or over select. And that's basically what I'm doing right now. I'm taking way more than I could possibly ever edit. Okay, yeah. That's a nice snowy. Keep that. Unfortunately, the angle's like a little bad. Oh, there you go. And while I was taking those other pictures, the yellow crown got the legs off of this guy. Here. That's pretty cool. And that command to go in and out is command period. This set here would be kind of cool to edit as a series, kind of showing, you know, before with the legs, through no legs, and I believe I get eating it. But yeah, these guys are particularly cool to just like stare at and watch and go ahead and, you know, sit there for minutes or quite some time, watch them hunt. It's probably not as sharp as I like, but okay, yeah. That is a really nice shot. I think I like that first one better. Maybe the third. I think that's my favorite. Go with four, because it's actually just generally a nice shot. A lot of detail. Decent background. Now back here. I've already got quite a number of shots of this thing playing with its food, so I'm just gonna kind of skip through these. Oh, that one's nice and sharp. Those two. That's 4. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so in this series we gotta break it apart. It's not really just playing with it, it's actually chomping it. That's cool. Sort of action shot there. Can't see the context anymore. It's a nice one. I'm just pausing to admire the shot. I guess it just walked away. It's an interesting picture. The leg is just like it's such a weird spot. Misfocus. That is really nice. There we have the nictitating membrane. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but the membrane of the eye is basically blinking. I love the way these guys are just like staring off into the distance all the time. Hey, let me keep that one for. If nothing else, it also helps me just kind of come back to it, make sure I revisit it, because the threes I don't really look into too much. Yeah, I think this one is sharper than it looks. Again, Digicam's using that reduced size preview as the default. Yeah, I had some trouble getting the exposure right on these. I remember taking these and trying to figure out exactly how to get the white, white bird on a bright sunny day. And with this set, I believe I was trying to capture the yellow crown walking with its reflection. Oops. It's blurry. That's nice with the leg up like that. And now I'm looking at that reflection just for like the details. So that first one I think had a better reflection. That's nice too. Got a 4. I like the color here. Well, it's actually pretty much monotone. Forget if that was a Downy or Harry. I think it was a Harry. The beak size is smaller, so it's probably a Downy actually. That's got a lot of potential. I'm gonna mark that as a 4. This is a different yellow crown. This one was further out. Keep one of those. There's nothing that's like particularly great about these either. You know, when you want to be culling a lot of images, it's really kind of just important to keep in mind that like the vast majority of your shots are never going to be amazing. Just realistically not possible. I mean, of course, in general, like, be better the more experience you have and all that stuff. But, you know, this is 10 shots of the same bird standing in the same spot, the focus shifting around because I'm hand holding. You know, I change orientation sometimes. So, like, you know, 2 good pictures out of the set of 20. And because I have other pictures of the other yellow crown that are actually more interesting, I end up with even less. You know, like that one's kind of interesting just because of the location. The ones with the tire, I want to ignore. I did not get the exposure on these egrets. Right. This one's, I think, okay because the head angle changed. Ooh, a little better. Yeah, but this whole set could definitely benefit from like second pass culling. And in that scenario, I think what I typically do is downgrade everything. So I'll like filter by the 3 stars, select all, change it to 1 or 2, and the same thing with the 4, and then kind of go through and just see if I agree again. Alternatively, I might take all the 4s and flag them with a green flag. So that would be option 3. So you get this little green flag here. Option 2, yellow, and 1 for rejected. I don't really use the flags. I typically use yellow if I want to like flag it as something that might be interesting to run through Topaz. This one looks, yeah. This is another snowy. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Just a nice, like, calm scene. And watching these guys hunt is pretty fun too, because they just run around all frenetically and trying to stir up birds, not birds, stir up fish with their legs. This guy managed to catch something. And unfortunately, you know, I don't have the zoom on the, or the reach on this lens I'm using, or the megapixels on the camera to really do a solid crops for a really close view. Yeah, it's too far out to get a good anything on that. This is the one I had the video of. So he was really close to the edge of the, you know, whatever this barrier here is. I really like that. And, yeah, this first pass, I just kind of like went by, but then on my way back, I just like sat down up here and hung out for a good 5 minutes with it. You know, it was just there. I wasn't really, I don't think I was bothering it. It wasn't behaving any different. it was acting, pretty normal. See, these shots are nice because the level of detail that I'm getting in the beak and the feathers, really cool. I don't have a good reason for why I made that one for it, just seemed like it. And again, this scenario, I'm playing with the settings. It had just gotten brighter. I think I had slowed the shutter speed. Yeah, and then slowed it again. That looks pretty cool. I'm gonna keep that one outside. That's good. Yeah. All right. No dice on that. I may have to stop. Yeah, this whole place is like right by the New Jersey Turnpike. It's very, very close to like very built up areas, so it's kind of crazy. You get a lot of really cool birds coming in. So this guy's out of focus. I think it was focused on this one. I don't really like that shot. You know, I kind of like this. Let me go for. My goal here was to capture like these three guys hanging out. That's nice. Yeah, this is pretty good. If I recall correctly, I ended up getting really close here. It's just kind of in an unexpected area. It was just this one bird close. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna hang on to that just because I like the detail. That's nice. Too many fours. Again, like the whole thing is arbitrary. And the way I kind of think about it is fours is one of the highlights of the outing, something that I really might consider or really would want to take the time and edit. That's kind of cool. And while I was sitting here, there's a yellow warbler that just like popped up like 3-4 feet away from me in a bush, and I was 110% not prepared to get a picture of it. Oh, so yeah, it's a nice level of detail. That's why marked it. Kind of looks like the camera's just dirty, but it's actually just the dirt. The actual mud flat. This is nice. The symmetry here with the reflection is really cool. Yeah, this is my nice set of this yellow crown. So yeah, let's finish this up quick. To make faces. Take down. You can see the beautifully oily water behind. I don't think these cormorants were particularly sharp. And again, it's a pretty solid distance. It's probably about 1,000 feet. We actually get a yawn out of this guy shortly. Yeah, that's nice. So if you've never seen a heron tongue, it seems like he should have made some sound. There's totally silent. It's just being tired and itchy. Interesting one. I actually did a lot of practicing panning with airplanes. Okay, that's all the pictures. This was like right as I walking to the airport. Right as I was walking to the parking lot, this flew right overhead, and I figured, hey, maybe I could probably get a nice shot out of it. But I missed all the ones when it was further back. So I only had these here. All right, cool. So now I'm gonna do my quick filtering. Take everything that is not tagged. Back to thumbnail view. I'm not even, there's too many pictures to like double check, so I'm not gonna even bother. Go ahead, delete. This is 14 gigabytes of photos that I'm just trashing right now. Yeah, so it's a pretty solid amount. hit this trash button here, that's just to reset the filters. So I'm just gonna remove that filter. And as those untagged images get moved into the trash, it'll just kind of clean itself up. I'm going to move over to captions real quick. Select everything over here. Yeah, add the camera. 100. Not gonna worry about the IOC tags. I'll do those later. Just takes up a lot of stuff. Alright, places. This is in Jersey, Lyndhurst, Court Park, sort of Sawmill Creek. Close enough. Yep, apply all those. Then I can go back to my filters. And just kind of take a look. Okay, do I have anything? Let's switch this here. So the default again is greater than or equals, so it kind of makes it a little frustrating. So, you know, 02s. I have 85 threes, and it looks like 52 26 52 images. So 26 4 stars, which isn't as bad as I thought. And then nothing is a 5. But yeah, so we got 86 plus 26, so about 100 out of our, what's it, 500 something, so about 20% keepers. Honestly too high. I can definitely go back and call it again. I usually try to go for 5%, so in the scenario of our like 550-ish, that's what, 27 total. So 27 to 50, you know, 25 to 50 images from this set, this would be a reasonable keep rate. Again, there's you know, the desire to keep as many pictures as possible that I took, but at the end of the day, what makes the photo special is the scarcity of them. You know, the scarcity of seeing and capturing one really cool moment. You know, right now, I just looking at this again after going through the whole set. These here, you know, I can reduce that to 1 for sure. Honestly, I don't really like either of them right this second, so I'm surprised they're 4s. But again, from this set here, that's, you know, 9 right there of basically the same thing. So I just go through, pass again, and then reduce these here. I'm gonna do that offline just because this is laggier than I'd like, so it makes it take longer to do the comparison, and it's already really late, so I need to stop. But yeah, call that a good spot for today. This time we have the geotagging, so everything here is showing up, you know, in the location, which is, you know, pretty nice. Why there's only 2 here, I don't know, but that's fine. If I were to go over the map, yeah, there we go. Yeah. So all the tags there are great. So we're good to go on that. And then I have 1 or 2 more sets that I do want to do, so I'll probably do those. Maybe I could potentially try and do them tomorrow or the day after. We'll see, because I do want to kind of remove the trash. I ended up deleting like 45 gigs. not mean to do that. Yeah, I ended up deleting almost 50 gigs earlier today because I only had like 3 gigs of space left after my most recent set of imports. And right now, I have 43 gigs available. So I have 5 gigs, 6 gigs around that from today, from today's imports. And my trash has 14 gigs. Yeah, just for this one set. So be able to free up a good amount of space by doing this. And again, that's another bonus of being aggressive in culling. Realistically, I'm not going to ever come back to all these pictures. I'm not going to want to deal with storing all these pictures. And again, this is a place I go frequently, so I know I have other pictures that are good, and I know I have a lot of opportunities in the future as well. So that all helps me kind of factor in what I can do for culling. You know, if it's the first time I've seen the bird, I'll keep more aggressively. So I have like a common yellow throat where pretty. It's actually surprisingly a good shot considering I didn't have time to like be prepared for it. But the two of those shots are, you know, mediocre. It's, you know, backside, one side with the head to the left, one to the right, but it's enough to ID the bird. And since that was the first time I've seen it, you know, it's a keeper automatically. I saw it again today, and I didn't review the footage on here, but on the camera, you know, a lot of them look soft, so I may maybe keep one, and I may just have to get rid of all of them. You know, if it's nothing special in terms of like sentimental value, in terms of like, well, first time seeing a lifer, you know, if it's even slightly off soft, I don't really keep it anymore. So yeah, all right, cool.